So that should be coming up any time now. Let's have a look. YouTube. It might take a couple of minutes for it to pop up like it usually does. Our channel.
No, it says you're live already.
Is
I've
it?
got a notification. Yeah. Yes.
Oh, yeah, we are live. Yeah. Well, there you go. It might take a couple of minutes for it to pop up like it usually does. I can hear the feedback coming through. Is it?
Notification. Yeah.
Hang on. Let's turn the audio down on that.
There you go. Put a chat in it so you can see where you're going to go off of.
Pop chat out. That can minimize. Do you want to just type something in there again, just so we can, the usual test?
So top people who post engagements. Cool. Cool. All right. And I'll get the link.
What I'm going to do, I'm going to bring that down a little bit just so that that heart is out of the way. Bloody hell, we actually didn't do too bad. We got set up fairly quickly tonight.
Yes, we did.
Be interested to see who's first one in the chat.
Me.
Other than you.
Hey, come on.
Bum, bum, bum. Oh, there you go. And it's 9 o'clock. And we're live already.
That we are, with no hiccups. What's Carl going to say now?
I've got no idea. No idea whatsoever.
He's a good guy, that guy.
He is.
Good value.
We'll give everyone a couple of minutes to come in. I don't know who's seeing the notifications or anything like that. So
James is probably like, "Oh, damn it, they're live."
Well, he's at Fremantle Prison tonight, so he's living it up. And he's just got that new thermal imaging camera, so he's going to be pulling that out and impressing everybody.
It'll be. Whoa, that was cold. Someone just walked over my grave.
That's not good. That's not good.
Oh, isn't that what they say when you shiver?
I don't know. Yeah, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
We might be on our own tonight.
It looks like it. I've thrown the links up.
Or everybody just realises that they come on 9-ish, which is usually about 5 past, then it takes them 10 minutes to get going, so they'll probably pop in about quarter past. But we proved them all wrong. We're actually ready to go bang on 9 o'clock tonight.
We are.
How do you tell if there are people in the chat other than when they...
At the moment, it's one watching, and I'm pretty sure that's me at the moment, which is very upsetting.
That's not good. Where are we? Well, I can keep...
Well, there's no point starting to talk about it yet, because...
No, I'm not gonna... Because people will then want to know what's going on and what it's all about, so we'll give it a few minutes for see if anybody's going to come in.
A knocker, hello, come in.
What does it tell you who's watching?
It doesn't say who's watching, it just says...
Not how many people.
Oh, we got hello, no, is it you watching as well now? It's got 2? No, I don't know. Hello, if there's a second person watching. I don't know, it just says down the bottom of mine underneath the shadow files. 2 watching now, started streaming 4 minutes ago. under the description.
Oh, yeah. Well, I know I had it open right from the start, so I don't know if I count as one.
I'm not sure.
But everybody feel free to, well, all two people, which is probably us two, feel free to chat
Hi.
in the chat room.
Oh, not hi.
I wonder if we haven't put as many lead ups like we usually do. I wonder if that's got anything to do with it.
You can have as many lead ups as you like to. When people aren't engaging, it makes it a little bit hard.
Yeah. Oh, and I've got my new camera settings and everything.
Oh.
So we can talk like this.
We can talk like this and like that. Alright, so the one in Paranormal Network was seen by 4. Oh, it was you that gave it a reaction. God damn, you got my hopes up. I was like, oh.
This is weird looking back on that, and then you're seeing a bit of a delayed reaction on it. I've got the audio turned down, so there's no feedback coming through, but hopefully the audio's coming through. Oh, it was because I heard it earlier, so...
Oh, it's going through good.
We need James back.
Yeah, we do. This just clearly shows that James is...
the man.
Yeah, the pusherer.
Yeah. All right, we'll have to do an emergency phone call and get him to call in from Fremantle Prison. So, if there's anybody watching that isn't Jeremy or myself, do you want to say hello in the chat or in the comments and just let us know? You did say that... we haven't shared the link. Or did you share the link?
Yeah, already done.
Okay.
I did that when you pretty much first started.
Oh, okay.
About 5 minutes ago.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Tell you what, these headphones come with the absolutely longest cable, but I suppose that's what you get for $2,500.
Yeah, and you know what? And if you didn't have the longest cable, you'd be like, oh, the cable's too short and my head's stuck down here like this.
The old Greek wedding thing, you get up and you just about get hooked over. Yeah. I wonder where Carl is. Like I said, it's only 9:05, so...
So I'm sharing the link to a couple of people.
And we are taking calls if you want to call in as well.
Well, I'll just send it to a few people in the US and one in Ireland, see if they join.
Oh, we should have sent one to that
Well, it's not too late.
Strangers Minds. I said I'd give him a shout out, so...
There we go. Send him on a link and see if he wants to come on.
I don't know. He's in New York, I think, and I'm not sure what the time is in New York at the moment. I think it would be early morning on a early Friday morning over there, because they're behind us.
Yep, it's 9:06 a.m. I thought it was.
See, it's about 1 o'clock in England.
Yeah, New York is 12 hours behind exactly.
Yeah. So we have 3 people watching. Somebody else has actually joined. Carl, hey, how are you, mate?
Is it Carl? There we go.
Have you got a conspiracy theory for us tonight? If you are, and if you're keen, we can bring you in.
And now he's going to say, which one would you like?
Oh, crap, yeah.
He's opening his book, he's flicking to page 4 and going about halfway down the page.
You might as well start on page 1 and just work your way through the whole lot.
Well, yeah, that too.
I wish I knew how to get this latency thing down. So we will start the show a proper in a couple of minutes. We're just waiting for a couple more people to come in. So Carl said, "Pick me." Now, because if you want to come on, you can come on quite early, but there are rules that if you talk in the first bit, you have to be very careful with your language because the algorithm picks up on it, and we can get
unless your name's Carl,
we can get banned. But if you want to come on, just give us a buzz on Messenger. Just use the phone thing. I've got me.
The thing my bobbies.
Sounds very technical. Use the phone thingy on Messenger. No. What do you think of the other camera view, Carl? Do you like this one, or do you want me to go back to the old one, which is, well, I'll be flicking backwards and forwards through the night, but we can jump to this one as well. Whichever one everybody prefers. There are 4 people watching. We are starting to build it. See, I told you, it's to do with who, me. Well, there's only one Carl's conspiracies, Carl, and that's Carl. You.
Carlspiracies.
Carlspiracy. Oh, yeah, that's a good one, that. I just spun out then because I looked over at my other screen just as my camera flicked over, and it was very weird.
Well, we've got 4 people in here now, so there's other people watching. How are we?
I think once we get to about 5 or 6, then we'll roll the little start bit and then we'll get right into it because...
Carl with the thumbs up.
Although there again, he might actually ring before we actually do the official start thing. Or should I do the official start thing?
I don't know, shall we?
Shall we do the official start thing, people? Oh, I think we should. So we will be back in a few little seconds. We are now officially live, so there you go. Although
it took the same amount of time and we got there.
There's a bit of a delay going on, so can't do much about that. But yeah, how is everybody for a Friday night? I'm looking in the completely wrong direction. I'm looking at this because I've got 2 cameras rolling tonight, so I'm all over the place. So if I look at the wrong one, I am sorry.
It's like calling you crazy eyes.
Oh, it's terrible. So if I go like this and then if I... Hello, now I'm over on camera number 2.
Yeah, well, now you're just showing off.
Well, for anybody that's watching, they
Some
might...
of us can only afford one camera.
This... sorry. I don't know if you think this looks as good a quality as a proper camera, but this is actually only a webcam.
So, Gary, you might want to drag your chat box up a little bit. It's cutting off the bottom chats.
Yeah, I know. It's cutting the like one off the bottom because I'm trying to get rid of that heart that keeps popping up. Otherwise,
it's a lovely heart.
Otherwise, okay, well, if you want the heart on, up we go.
What's wrong with the heart?
Now there's a heart on our screen all the time. So you can all click love as much as you want, and it will do its thing.
I can't see it on my screen, so...
Give it 30 seconds and you will.
No, I can see it on the actual live stream.
Oh,
see
okay.
It on mine.
Oh, I can see it on mine because if I go over here and I click it, you get a little one of them.
In that, obviously, mine does not love us that much.
Oh, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? We've already lost one person. We're back to 3.
Carl's probably dropped his phone.
Oh, I should have been actually checking my messages.
Well,
no.
What'd you break?
No, because remember I've got it on silent if people ring through, so I don't know whether or not people are trying to call in.
Probably not.
No.
Like, it'd be nice if they were.
It would. It would. we like talking to people. So if anybody wants to come on and chat, whoever that other person is, we're back to 4 again. So
yay! Welcome back, Cal.
So anyway, what I was going to talk about, we actually we've got a show coming up on the Mandela effect, and I'm looking at the wrong bloody camera again. And there was a couple of facts on that I saw that I wanted to actually look into, and I remember me telling you about it. Now there's a couple of little train of thoughts on this, but
choo.
Yes, in a couple of movies, they've been like a school scene, your normal sort of classroom scene, and there's been like a map on the wall, and people commented that because where Australia is, there's a great big landmass. Your chat screen is faulty. Well, it seems to be working all right for us.
It's because it's got a love heart.
Yeah, the love heart throws it off. Anyway, getting back on track. Yeah, and the classroom showed a great big landmass off Western Australia. So it made me wonder what that was all about. So I've been sort of researching it, and it's absolutely redonkulous how far this thing goes, eh? Now, it's called Lemuria or something like that, this landmass. And there are actual scientific studies that say it is very possible that this did exist at some point in time. A bit like, you got the Bering Sea landmass, where
yes,
it was all connected to Russia and America. Alaska were all connected over the top through the Bering Sea.
They were saying we're all connected until the tectonic plates shifted. And
yeah, well, this goes in. This will actually not just goes into like the Mandela effect. It goes into a lot of other things that we were talking about as well across several shows, and that is that there was I don't know where these records come from, because they said the record state, and I don't know what records these are, but they said there was a very highly advanced civilization that lived in Lemuria. I'll keep getting that name wrong. And at that point in time, now they reckon this was over 10,000 years ago, and there was only one other highly advanced civilization on Earth at the time, and I guess you can guess who that is. Atlantis.
yes.
Now they reckon these civilizations were over 200,000 years old, which makes you wonder, because I mean, we're only basically 2,000 years old, if you know what I mean. And
pardon me.
and they were so highly advanced that they had flying machines and things back then. And where this all goes is that ultimately the Lemurians wanted each civilization in Earth to do their own thing and grow at their own rate, whereas the Atlanteans wanted to control everything.
Mm-hmm.
So they didn't really get along. Now, from there, we start going about Planet X, Nibiru, and the Anunnaki. Now, the Anunnaki was supposed to be centralized around when Planet X, now this is going into it all here, it's on a 3,600-year-old orbit. So every 3,600 years, it's coming by. And then what happens is, on the approach, they can actually fly to Earth. And they want to control. Now, these are the giants that a lot of people talk about in the past and things like that. And I guess if you watch, like the Greek gods and things like that, they were always giants, weren't they? And then they would mate with human women, and then you had the demigods that would come from that, like Hercules and all that kind of thing. Now, that is what it was said to have happened. They were supposed to be the classed as gods, and they were intimidating to people, so they ended up mating with human women. The Nephilim and stuff. Yeah, it's all tied in together.
And you say you don't like religion.
I don't.
It's
but
all through the Bible.
No, let me finish. Let me get through this. And then what happened was, then they started influencing the two major civilizations on Earth, which would be the Lemurians, which is hard to say, and the Atlanteans. And that ultimately apparently led to a nuclear war or whatever weapons 200,000 years more advanced than what we are gives you. And they reckon that's what the heat from these weapons, they reckon, is what melted the polar ice caps and caused the world to flood, which ties in with the floods that's in every holy book that you read. And obviously Atlantis went under the waves. Now in histories it went in the waves, under the waves overnight. Now it makes you wonder, because the scientific people are saying that this landmass could have existed because there are animals on some of these island chains that are around the Indian Ocean and stuff which shouldn't be there, and they shouldn't be the way they are in that location. And the only way that could be is if they walk there, or somebody put somebody on a plane, but the natural habitat and stuff like that. So it was quite interesting to read on about. And then they start talking about these cataclysms and things. Now you think about the Cocos Islands.
Mm-hmm.
The entire island chain, if you look at it, it is actually the rim of a volcano.
Yep. So just with that, sorry, Carl, with the pole shift. Now I was watching, can't remember exactly what it was, but they were saying to do with the rising water levels and the hole in the ozone layer and whatnot else. Not is every so many hundreds or thousands of years the poles swap north and south, and that's what makes.
Well, it's also funny he mentions that, because one of the things that they say is these weapons were that advanced and that powerful that they actually put the Earth off its axis. They tilted it off its axis, which created a pole shift in its own right. Even though it does happen naturally over a long period of time, they made it happen in a ridiculously short, almost instant manner, and that's why they said that all these cataclysms and things happened. So there's different things you can look at from that. You know, you can look at it and say, you talk about the Anunnaki, about the giants, which leads into your Greek gods and things like that. They also talk about the Lemurians had a deity called Ra-Ah, not Ra, but Ra-Ah, and they had pyramids as well. Yep. And it just then ties into like Stargate and things like that. It makes these things seem just a little bit more plausible, even though they're just pure science fiction. It makes them a little more plausible. So
it becomes a little more like, ooh, maybe it could be true.
Well, you know what it's like. People who write history write it the way they want to write it, and
it's his story.
There's so much that gets missed from the history books, and then when somebody wants to question history as we know it, then they get laughed at.
That is true.
Yes, that's right, Carl. It is constantly moving.
Well, it has to be if the Earth is spinning and moving in a way around the orbit.
Yeah,
it's not going to stay in one spot.
No, that's right. Well, it's good to see Carl's in chatting away. That's awesome.
Next thing Carl's going to be trying to... Carl, please don't tell us that you're going to be trying to tell us that there's a firmament over the Earth.
A what?
Firmament. You haven't heard all that debate at the moment going on?
No.
So all the flat earthers are turning around and saying that we're covered by a dome, or what they call as a firmament.
Yep.
Yes. And, you know, some of the stuff they come up with, holy Jesus.
Yeah, the flat earthers there. They're a
they're all around
unto themselves, yeah.
I bet you to it, didn't I? But there's been that many different civilizations and places on Earth that have been swallowed up by the water. It's not funny, like Carl had said about Tartaria or Tartary. You know, that was in Central Asia. That's gone. Then you've got the whole Atlantis And then you've got the one that you were talking about as well. I'm not a
Lemuria.
flat earther, Carl. This Earth is about as flat as a basketball.
Yes. Just speak to the Global Alliance of Flat Earthers.
That's what I mean. And to go with your maps and everything else to go with it, have you seen the latest things people are saying about maps being so unreliable at the moment with the way that they've laid out the continents and countries and islands to size comparisons and how they actually sit?
No. I
So
wouldn't
when
be
you
one
look at
bit surprised at the idiotic things that people say these days.
Oh no! These are actual like genuine people. They're not these silly people going, oh, it's this and that. But they're saying size comparisons of countries. Like you get, say, Australia against the US,
Yeah.
and the sizings of it when you look on a map is not the correct sizes or in a scale to what it actually is and how big it actually is.
But who actually is the one that says that? You got satellites and things like that which are mapping this sort of thing, and
But they're mapping things out, they're mapping things out on a flat piece of paper, and they're trying to move that flat piece of paper onto a round dome,
yeah, no, I understand that.
and it doesn't translate correctly.
No, I understand that, and the other thing is, like I said, with tectonic shift and obviously pole variations and what have you, then there are going to be slight changes, but they're not going to be something that would be measurable on a globe that sits on your desk. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Mapping was what generally done on a flat surface.
And not just that. When you talk about rising seawaters and stuff with global warming and everything, then the entire seaboard is going to start changing, and the shapes of some countries will start to change as well.
Let's have a look. So in the last 100 years, the average temperature has risen by about 1 degree Celsius, and the sea levels have maybe raised about 6 inches.
Yeah. a global catastrophe in the making.
Yes.
But check this out. Where's
Biggest scam sold to people.
If you have a look at this little map here,
That is true as well, Carl. So I have seen that.
that there's Lemuria, which is basically,
The land of the lemurs.
it would have really ticked me off because we would have lost our oceans here. And it's funny how we were attached to India and we were attached to Madagascar. Looking at that, I'm surprised that we don't actually get tied in with the Indonesian islands as well. But it's funny enough, when you look at that, some of the maps actually show Lemuria on the east coast in the Pacific, all the way out as far as Hawaii and New Zealand and stuff like that. And when you go back, what I was saying before about how Atlantis and how Lemuria was supposed to be warring, these records put Atlantis in the Yucatan and sort of around that Mexico, Cuba, all of that kind of area in the Caribbean, or out near the Bermuda Triangle, basically.
Why do the rich people still buy oceanfront properties? Because it's a status.
Yeah, but that seaweed absolutely stinks.
Well, not even that. You've got corrosion and degradation of properties.
Well,
As you and I both know.
yeah. Well, we quite regularly we'll go for a drive down through Rocco, and we will go around where Penguin Island is and things like that. And there are so many times I've gone through there where you've had to turn off the beach road because the storms that have come through have actually eroded it, so the road and the path collapses. So then they have to repack it all out and put boulders and things down to try and stabilize it. But there are houses literally 20 meters further back, so at some point, if something that bad, these houses are going to go. So why would you want to risk it? I mean, you look at those things, the hurricanes in America and stuff, and you can see the land erosion literally underneath some of these houses before they collapse. This is not this is not paranormal.
No, it's not, but it's a live stream, and we're talking about a topic that has been brought up in the chat.
Yeah.
which is the beauty of it. You can go off into tangents. Again, going off on tangents.
Well, that's what we're always about. We always do that, don't we? So,
Oh, yes. So I'm sending you a file that you'll be able to pull up on your screens when I can find it.
I probably won't be able to open it up while we're talking, but...
It's just a map. How you're saying that map that you had shown.
Yeah.
Let me do it that way. No. Let's say images. Oh, it's an AV1 image.
Yeah.
Don't think. It's actually showing the way that it's connected. It's a map from 1876.
Yep.
Don't know if you're going to be able to open it. I'm pretty sure this is it. What's it called?
Got a question for you, Carl. Well, anybody else who's watching as well, in the chat, let us know what you are actually what you're actually watching the podcast on. Are you actually watching it on a phone, on a computer, on a tablet? I'm curious to see, because obviously
Doesn't tell you at the analytics at the end?
Nah. It just tells you how many views you've had and who stayed on. Well, not who stayed on, but how many stayed on for an average and peaks and things like that.
Oh, with the global warming, yes, that is the biggest lie to be sold to anybody. Because if there was any global warming and the sea levels are rising so quick and everything was being destructed and there's going to be distraught environmental impacts, the banks wouldn't be giving out money because they would know they were not getting returns back.
Oh, look, I don't doubt the Earth is warming, but it's not anywhere near the rate that what they're all talking about.
1 degree in 100 years?
Yeah. And obviously, with all the hydrocarbons and all these different things going up, and the big push to try and go clean with the electric vehicles and things like that, those chemicals and whatever you do react with the atmosphere, which lowers the ozone, which does let more sun in, which warms it up tiniest little bit. But again, if you watch that show, The Last of Us, it only takes a couple of degrees before that virus breaks free and transfers to humans, and then we've got a zombie apocalypse going.
I can't wait for that day.
It has its pros and it has its cons. I don't like the whole zombie thing, but I do like the idea of not having to work.
Oh, I was talking about the whole, like, we can send the zombies to the government buildings.
Yeah.
You know, we keep a few and train them to be good zombies.
They're not dogs. I mean, they're not even real. So, you know, what are we talking about? But that's at the moment. That's at the moment. Well, I remember.
I've seen Shaun of the Dead.
Oh, that's one of the best zombie films. That one. I remember when they were talking about Nostradamus. Now he's interesting, Nostradamus and his quatrains and stuff. But he talked about the dead walking the earth, and he, like I said, he had all his visions looking in a bowl of water, and he wrote all these things down. But then he had to put them into like poem-like quatrains so they didn't get busted for alchemy or wizardry, witchcraft, whatever the hell the name of it was back then. And he did talk about seeing the dead walk the earth. Now, when you watch news footage of all these meth heads and whatever, you know, or some of these really bad drugs totally off their nut, that would be like watching the dead walking the earth.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what he was saying. So
he's been to Kwinana.
I'm not saying a word. I'm not.
But in saying that as well, look at his other prophecies. Look at his other prophecies. I don't know if you call them that. His predictions that have come through as well, with the French Revolution, the death of Henry II, the rise of Napoleon, the rise of Adolf Hitler, and the 9/11 attacks.
The rise of Napoleon.
Yeah.
It's under this time.
3 feet 4.
Yeah.
You know, but how does someone from that time predict the attacks of 9/11?
Yeah.
Yes, I know, Carl. It was an inside job. I just thought I'd get in there before Carl did.
Yeah, but that doesn't change the fact that he sort of wrote about it in the 1600s.
My Vesuvius gave off more pollution than the humans have ever punched out through the top of Moria. But that's what I mean. With the whole going to electric cars, having these wind turbines and everything else, you've still got lithium mines. You've still got the diesel that runs these plants. You've still got the diesel generators to charge these things.
Yep.
You know, and lithium mines are not the cleanest of mines to start with.
No.
Then you've got people trying to harness wind power and wind energy from these turbines, and once they break down, they can't recycle them. They get thrown into landfill.
Yeah. Well, one of the guys at my work, he's actually got a Tesla, and I asked him how long it takes to charge a car, and he said, well, with a fast charge, it's about 40 minutes or something like that. And then I looked into how much it costs to fill your battery up, I suppose, charge your battery, whatever you want. And that fast charge, that 20 minutes is to 80%. It's not to 100%. So, and you get about 400 Ks out of a battery. And what he was saying, or what they were saying, is when you look into the price of these things, they charge per kilowatt hour or whatever it is. Then you convert that into the capacity of the batteries for a specific car. And to charge a car, it's not that much cheaper than filling it up with petrol.
You could probably get more kilometres out of petrol
or
diesel.
Yeah. And I still think, like what you say when you're talking about lithium mining and all these other things, it'll be interesting to see where we're at in 20 years' time when they're phasing out petrol, and see how much more damage the lithium mining and whatever components come into it.
If the majority of people end up getting these electric cars, they're going to be huge amounts of mines for lithium, and they're going to rape it all free.
Yep. And that's going to cause its own issues again.
Exactly.
Which at some point you would think is when the aliens are going to come and say, stop ruining the planet.
Yeah, I think they've already tried that. The power grid couldn't cope if everyone had... Exactly right. They can't cope with bloody air conditioners.
Yeah, you know what it's like here, and they're already forecasting this summer we're going to be having rolling blackouts because with with the Collie power plant being powered down, they reckon they don't have the ability to do it. Hello, Christy. How are you?
Christy's like, this is not paranormal or shady.
Well, Christy, do you have a comment you want us to talk about? We're open. If you want to call in and have a chat, you can call in and have a chat, or you can just keep chatting away in the chat room. Whatever you want to do.
The island of the dolls. I reckon Christy would live there if she could.
She'd have a conniption fit of excitement at the island of the dolls.
I want that one.
I've just realised this is super complicated having two cameras because I keep looking at the wrong one.
Isn't there a light on whatever camera's actually on at the moment?
There is on both of them. My actual camera, which is... Sorry, hang on. Which is over here, is... it's got a whole screen and everything there, so I can see what's going on, but obviously I've got the monitor in the middle, and then back over here there's a little white light on the other one.
Yes, the island of the dolls. Which one, though? The real one or the fake one?
The real one. Yeah, no, the fake.
I'm pretty sure there's three.
I've heard of two. I haven't heard of three.
Yes.
All right, let's talk about islands. What's a favourite island that you would want to visit and check out?
Epstein's. Epstein's. No, I was joking.
That's no. Paranormally speaking, what would be the island? Because you get a look at island of the dolls. It's only a tiny little bit, and it's an inland kind of thing, you know.
That's hard to choose of what island.
Yes, Christy, I have seen. You walk into Christy's house and it's bloody freaky, eh? Because they're not the pretty dolls either. They're scary dolls.
I'm pretty sure, Christy, don't you have Dybbuk boxes as well?
For anybody in the
that's I was saying that's another thing we could touch on as well. Dybbuk boxes and stuff like that.
I used to listen to this podcast years ago called The Mysterious Universe, and every time they talked about the Dybbuk box, they had all sorts of stuff go wrong while they were actually just even talking about it. And from what I've seen, they made a bad movie about it as well, but
did they?
A very bad movie. Well, funny enough, I still watched it right through at the end to see what happened, and yeah, it's curious, very curious. But yeah, if you ever want to check out a good place at Halloween, Christie's house, they put on a duck's nuts kind of setup. You go for a walk through this little adventure land of creepiness. So there you go, Christy. That's not far away now. You're going to have to start prepping for that.
I would say if I was going to go to an island, Christy, no boxes, but I have a chalice that was... Okay. How many creepy things happened at your house? So, island-wise, Gary, I think I'd go to a place called, I don't know, pronounce it properly, it's Poveglia or Poveglia?
Poveglia Island in Venice.
Yes.
That's my number one place to go. I was sure you were going to say the Island of the Dolls in Mexico.
No. Dolls aren't really my thing. They're Christie's thing.
Yeah.
But you can't even visit there anyway. Not
legally.
Poveglia.
Yeah. It's been barred and it's off limits. I mean, part of it's for structural reasons, but everybody knows about the infamous reputation of the place.
Well, the tortures of patients from the mental institution.
Oh, mate, it goes back way beyond that. If you go back... Okay, the history of Poveglia Island, it started out as basically a plague den. Back when the bubonic plague was going, they would actually dump people over there to die. And then what happened after that was there was that many people dying there that they created this corral type thing off the back of the island. They just started dumping people into the water, and then the bodies end up going on top of each other, so they end up coming out of the water. And then, of course, they tried to bury them at that point. And they say now, if you actually have a look at a map of Poveglia Island, if you want to look it up, it's Poveglia, how you spell it. There's a little bridge in the middle, and then when you walk across onto the side which doesn't have the buildings on it, they reckon the soil's really soft and you're sinking in. They say you're actually walking across the bones of the people that were buried there from the plague.
It's very squishy.
Yeah. And then after that, you had the Napoleonic Wars, and it was a weapons cache for Napoleon, actually. He used to keep all of his weapons over there. And then in later times, they end up building a psychiatric hospital, and they reckon the patients ended up killing the doctor or something like that. And eventually it got shut down, but the buildings are still there now.
It's said that... hi, Mark. It's said that it's approximately 50% of that island is human remains.
There you go, just what I was just saying, yeah. I actually saw...
What?
I was going to say, I actually just saw a documentary probably 6 months ago, and they were actually doing a scientific study. They were digging up some of the mass graves, and they found a couple of graves off to the side, which were very unusual. And what happened was, when they were digging those up, they found that they were following all the ancient rituals of burial for a supposed vampire. So whoever this person was that was buried, they believed was a vampire.
Okay.
Or whatever their term for it was back then, but a bloodsucker, back from the dead. So there's a lot of weird stuff about Poveglia Island, which is...
Because I know before it got closed off limits completely in June, I think it was June 2023, you could actually get approval from Venice itself to get on the island, but now they've just stopped it completely. Yeah. That's
yeah, Mark, we're talking about all different islands at the moment, and what would be your favourite one to visit? So we have mentioned the island of the dolls in Mexico. That's, I mean, there's two of them. There's a sort of a fake one to throw people off, and then there's the real one, which actually now has a fence all the way around it.
You know, it seems weird that someone that was a chef has decided to travel and do documentaries about going places like the Doll Island.
Well, like I said, I was involved in a show that we were preparing. I think I've mentioned it in previous one of our episodes. And it was sort of a mix of paranormal investigation with dark tourism, I suppose is the term for it. And some of these places would have been absolutely awesome to go to. Because Don Julio from Dolls Island, he died in there after the little girl died.
With islands, does Alcatraz count?
Yes.
That's another place I'd go. Just put that one up there.
Oh, most definitely. Yep. That is definitely on my to-do list. Sorry, see that was almost a seamless flick to the next camera. Give me 5 minutes and I'll be talking somewhere in the middle again, so I apologise if I am.
Oh, looking back at that one now.
I am.
Apparently Cockatoo Island is supposedly haunted as well.
Really?
Supposedly.
Well, there you go.
But I'm pretty sure that Australia sold Cockatoo Island off to the Chinese just not long ago. Yes.
It's funny that as soon as you mentioned the Chinese, you went all pixelated.
Ha!
Hang on, how many people are watching? We've got 7 people watching at the moment. I wonder if any of them are from China, the Chinese government.
I was about to say.
Oh no, Carl, we're starting the conspiracies again. We're starting our own up now.
Yeah.
But,
That's why there is a fair few islands. You know.
no,
It's not really
Alcatraz.
an island.
Alcatraz definitely. That's one place I do want to go. I know a lot of people that have been there but not stayed the night, and I would love to spend probably even a couple of nights there and go through the whole lot. Not just the main cell block, but some of those buildings off to the sides and what have you as well, and the sewers and stuff. You know, there's a lot there.
I wouldn't mind staying a night in Guantanamo Bay.
Isn't that still open at the moment, or have they shut that down now?
Well, I hope it's shut down. I don't even know if it is. See, because that's what I mean. It's in U.S. jurisdiction as such, but they're leasing it off of Cuba.
Yeah. If anybody wants to call in, by the way, feel free to just let us know, and then I'll let you know how to call in. So I'll just throw that out there. Oh, and if you haven't already, please subscribe. Throwing that shameless plug in. A bit different as well. While Jamie's got his Jamie, see, where did Jamie come from? Jeremy's got his thinking pose on.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
What colour do you prefer behind me? The red that was there before, or the green? Or would you prefer a different colour?
I think I know exactly where Carl's going for this whole Obama and Hillary thing. Carl, it's not a conspiracy if it becomes true.
No, that's right.
See, I think Carl's probably going down the direction of like Pizzagate and the rest of that sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But let's be honest. Clinton and Obama should probably be in prison for Benghazi anyway.
Have you ever seen that, getting back onto islands and whatever, there's an island off Japan, and literally from shore to shore they built these like massive flats and stuff. They actually shot in there for one of the James Bond films. Thank you, Christy. Green, she likes green. And they reckon that place is haunted. It was originally set up some sort of a corporation, but they never ended up using it. So there's this whole deserted city on this island off Japan.
Is that Hashima Island?
Oh, that sounds familiar, but they reckon
Gunkanjima?
It could be, but they reckon now it's falling apart, so you can't go over there.
It's a tiny island off of Nagasaki.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all falling apart. They call it translates to Battleship Island.
Oh, okay.
I like battleships.
Has anybody got anything they want to talk about? Let me know. Let me know. Let us know.
Look, it's not really an island, but I think
Mark's
you brought
been
up
quiet tonight. Mark's usually more talkative than this.
I would love, and it sounds really sadistic me saying it like this, is I'd love to go to the suicide forest in Japan.
Yeah, that's on my.
Not trying to sound disrespectful in the way I'm saying it that way, but
No, I know what you're saying because that's a place I would love to visit as well.
well, it's the stories behind it. It's the whole people hearing the voices while they're in that forest.
Oh crap! Mark just said try a blue light. I do have a blue light. And
You also have a red one.
I forgot that. You want the alien head turning blue? Is that what you're saying? Looks good.
I said like the alien head.
There you go. He's blue now. Oh, hang on, you can't see it because I'm on the wrong camera.
And I think he's talking about the blue, like the one behind you on your door.
Oh, yeah, I can do that. I can do that. Next week I'll do blue, just for you, Mark. So, yeah, if I switch back over to, hang on, I've got to find all these different buttons now.
That's what I mean. Like this.
I thought you were talking about this alien head here. I've made him blue now.
There is so many places that, you know, if I had infinite money, or one Powerball, I would be going.
Oh, we'd take the whole team. We'd do first we'd buy the York Hospital.
And look, let's be honest. I'd send you postcards to start with and be like, "Ha, I'm just kidding. There's tickets."
I don't know how we'll play it, but I'd make sure everybody got to visit some of these awesome places.
Paveglia, the island of the Venetian Lagoon. Oh,
It's hey Mark, seriously, tonight normally we're about 10 or 15 minutes late by the time we get going, getting everything set up, but we started going maybe 5 minutes early. Everything just worked, so we were bang on 9 o'clock tonight. We were off and running, and there was nobody on. They're all waiting 10 or 15 minutes to come in at the good bit. So we got here in the end.
The Venetian Islands, supposed to be the most haunted island. Well, Paveglia, they say, is the most haunted in the world.
Now, as much as I don't like to blow his tune or anything, I'd never heard of it until Zach Baggins and the Ghost Adventures team went over there.
Don't swear at me. With all the crap he's gotten himself in some doo-doo.
Yes.
Venetian Islands in Florida.
I remember when we had, I think it was our second episode that we did. Now, this was before we're not going to mention it, but we did sort of possibly ruin our entire show talking about that.
Oh, look, let's be honest. Like, when you think of his name in your head, you just think, my name is Matt Damon.
Do you remember when the young blokes did, what's his name? Dakota somebody or other.
Yeah, I know who
they did it. They're only young blokes, and they did a knockoff of the start of Ghost. It was actually better than the start to Ghost
Dakota
Adventures
Layden?
itself. Yeah, Layden. Yeah, that's the one. Now, apparently, with the new stuff going on about Zach and everything, he's actually sort of apparently siding or on the same side as Nick. Yeah, there's a bit of a para struggle going on over there.
Yes, there has been and there will be for a while.
Dead Man's Island in Canada.
Yes, I did see. Where did I see that? I did actually see that when I was looking up at the islands.
Whereabouts in Canada is that? Is that Vancouver side or is it the other side, Toronto?
Apparently, there's a Dead Man's Island in Kent as well.
In where?
Kent.
Kent.
Yes, the
In
UK,
England?
Kent.
Oh, okay. there
Dead
you
Man
go.
Island is in Vancouver. It's a 3.8 hectare island south of Stanley Park in Coastal Harbour in Vancouver, British Columbia.
Oh, I'll have to have a word with my cousins about that because remember how I told you last week how my cousin was a Mountie?
Yes.
They're in Vancouver. Vancouver. I can't do the accent. That was terrible. They're in Port Coquitlam, Vancouver, British Columbia.
Hey, man. Hey,
That's worse than mine, man. That is really bad.
I don't care. I'm not Canadian. It's all right.
Have you guys
I'm
ever?
not. I'm not Canadiese.
This show's going all over the place, but has anybody heard of the?
Point.
Is it the Canadian Triangle? Something like that.
That sounds like a sexual position.
Jeez, terrible. We just need we need to just censor that whole square up at the top where see you've gone all bloody pixely again. You're upsetting people. They're taking your bandwidth away from you.
Look. Hey, look. Just do me a solid and don't Google Canadian Triangle.
Oh, God. Yes, Carl, we have discussed the Fantasy Island. Have you seen the new film? The new film, it's actually like a horror kind of thing. It's actually really good.
When did we actually make that reference? Because it was only just recent.
It was only in the last couple of weeks.
The plane.
Yeah. That's interesting, that. Everywhere we go, I'm feeling a conspiracy coming on, and Carl needs to come on and talk about it.
Yeah, I'm starting to think Mark's putting up some bad things to type into Google.
No. Mark, have you subscribed to our channel? Because
Let's get this past 95 people.
No, because if you're subscribed to our channel, you should be getting notified.
Yeah, you have to click the bell. And
and then click the bell, the little bell.
Set your notifications.
To turn the notifications on.
Because you get some turn on and then some will... You can personalize it and whatnot.
And an even better thing to do is if you tell all your friends to subscribe as well, when they get the notifications, they'll remind you so you'll never miss a show again. What movie are we talking about, Carl?
I think Carl's talking about Fantasy Island still, maybe?
Yes, there is a new movie called Fantasy Island. It came out about 2 years ago. It's a horror.
Ooh.
It's actually pretty demented. It's really good. It's really good. If you like your Saw type stuff.
Demented and really good. I don't think that goes in the same sentence.
Yeah. So what else are we going to talk about tonight? I had a couple of things, and as usual, as soon as we start talking, we get led in a different direction.
Oh, I forgot to save the file down, but did I save it in a bookmark? Oh, where'd it go? There's Australian Yowie research. No. When I was talking to you about the guy in Canada that saw it wasn't Sasquatch, but the giant that was on top of the hill.
Yeah.
And then he was followed around by the CIA and a few other Canadian police or higher ups.
Mm-hmm.
They actually followed. And now the guy's gone missing.
I can sense Carl is firing up.
Bad boy Bubby Demented. That movie was a great movie.
Have you seen that new one on? I think it's on Stan. Is it Twisted Metal?
Yeah, it's off the PlayStation game.
Yeah, it's got the deranged clown in the van.
Yeah, I remember playing that game as a kid.
Oh, see, I only ever played Need for Speed and things like that.
Yes, and this was well before Need for Speed.
Need for Speed or Flight Simulator, they're the only ones that I play. So.
The Twisted Metal came out in 1995.
Oh, the game, I was going to say, because the show's a lot newer than that.
Yeah, the show's only just new now, but that whole clown and everything else is from
the original game.
Yep, so pretty much you had your clown truck and other ones, and you'd be driving around trying to kill each other. And I think it's a YouTube fail. I'll probably have to subscribe to menu or something. Well, you can subscribe to us as many times as you like.
Yeah. We're having a hard time getting over 100. We would love to see that happen, but so if you've got 5 or 6 different ones, Devil's Rejects, yeah, that was a good one.
Mm-hmm.
This has just totally gone right off topic now. We're talking about movies and things. Christy, are you still with us? If you are, have you got anything you want to talk about? Now we're waiting to see. The pressure is on Christy. Even though there is a delay.
Oh, that's it. Andrew Dawson was the guy that had the videos. But some of the pictures that he had and videos were actually quite phenomenal into the fact that you can see it from a distance when he's pulled over on the road.
Yeah.
There was other videos where he had actually gone, or someone had actually gone up to where he had seen the footage, and you could see there was huge footprints. There was bits that were missing here and there that were there in the video that had been removed.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was a government building that was up the top there with a satellite and a phone as well. So it was quite... Whistler's Peak, that's where it was.
Oh,
Whistler's
yes. Yes, I remember this. Yes, and there was
wasn't that video?
There was that. No,
ago.
I remember that because there was a creature walking across the top of it, and then I think they ended up going up there, and they worked out that it had to be a lot bigger than a normal person, and stuff like that. You can see.
Well, so the guy.
Because people started saying it was a landmark that was there, but they went back and it was gone. Yeah. So it was definitely something moving.
Yeah. So the video of the giant at Whistler's Peak Mountain, California, said CIA was stalking him and he died 3 months later. They haven't found a body, and they haven't got any proof that the guy's died, but they issued a death certificate. They said,
well, how can you do that without a body or any proof that a person has passed away?
Government.
Which again, Carl.
Conspiracy.
I'll tell you what, Carl, get your stuff ready because we will have Carl's Conspiracies premiere next week. So we'll have you on the show. Here I am talking to this bloody camera again, and I'm over here. I don't know how they do it in the actual TV studios. It's just too much pressure. So yeah, next week, Carl, we will have you on the show. So prepare a 5 to 10 minute talk about a conspiracy theory of your favourite liking, and we will talk about that. You're on notice.
Ooh.
This will be the first show because we've hit 10 o'clock now. It'll be the first show that we haven't actually had somebody call in. So sad.
Maui conspiracies?
Please explain, Mark. We are curious now.
Mark should ring in and tell us.
Yeah, why don't you call in, Mark? Oh, hang on. You're not talking about all the fires and everything, are you? The blue houses.
Blue objects being saved from wildfires. Carl, open discussion on what conspiracy theories. Hey, Carl, do you know what the difference between a conspiracy theory and truth?
About 10 minutes.
3 months.
Oh, it's 3 months, is it?
Hawaii wildfires stoke climate denial conspiracy theories.
Again, going back to Nostradamus, who we were talking about earlier, I was saying to Lynn when we were watching TV and they were showing you some of those fires in Hawaii and stuff, and they actually look like they could be from hell. And again, going back to Nostradamus, talking about hell on earth and things burning and stuff like that. It's just, I know we have bushfires here every year and it probably looks the same, but I don't know. I don't know if they use different filters over there in Hawaii, but they look pretty mean.
So what they're saying is climate change denying social media accounts are exploiting the deadly wildfires in Hawaii to push conspiracy theories that high energy lasers were used to spark flames.
Carl, there you go. There's a new one for you. They're actually advertising those blue lasers on Facebook at the moment.
That's the thing though. Lasers have been known to, you know, there's warnings saying that they can cause fires.
These blue ones, the blue lasers, are super powerful. And I can vouch for that because when I was in Singapore in 2012, 2013, met with some of the guys from the Singapore Paranormal Investigators. Now, Justin, I'm surprised he hasn't come in or not, but he had one of these blue lasers. I think it was a confiscation because he used to work for the police. I don't know if he still does. I'll better not say any more in case he is. And he brought it with him, and he shows, check this out. And he fired. I mean, this thing was it was about that fat. It's not like the little skinny little pen ones that we have here. And he fired at this. We put some wrappers down on this concrete table when we were up at Bucket Chandu because we were doing a paranormal investigation out there. And he fired it, and this thing went straight through the wrappers, and they caught fire and melted pretty quick. But when we sort of brushed them away and put them in the bin, it had actually gone probably 6 or 7 mils into the concrete slab. So I'm glad he wasn't pointing that at my face. That's the danger when you got something as powerful as that. As cool as it was, but
see, Mark, before they were called conspiracy theories, I'm pretty sure they're just theories. But we have a laugh about conspiracy theories as such because some of them are absolutely ridiculous, as we've gone on one of our episodes. But there are some things that you question, and it sucks because some things as a person you get told as a younger person to, or being brought up to use your brain and analyze things and ask questions and question things. And unfortunately, as soon as someone does that, they're labeled as a conspiracy theorist. And it makes it very hard to try and push, not even push, but trying to have an opinion or a thought on something when people get smacked with that sticker. That's not having a go at you or anything like that. It's just having a chat.
No, well, look, the beauty of what we talk about is everybody has different opinions on things, and providing people can talk in a constructive and decent manner, it makes the show that much more interesting if you had all different sides of any particular topic, you know?
Oh, exactly right.
Like I said, I've mentioned this before, where I used to work, there was a guy in there who's, I mean, I'm a skeptic, but I will accept things that I've seen, and I have seen and experienced things to know that there is stuff out there, but not a lot of the stuff that you see on the internet. I've actually stopped commenting on a lot of things because so many things you can see are fake, but so many people still believe them that I don't want to be just poo-pooing everybody because they'll just go away and go somewhere else, you know what I mean? So I think it's interesting to see, but
what is true though is those birds. They're just not birds, they're drones.
That old nugget. But yeah, don't ever
yeah, we're not
change who you are. No, not at all. Not at all. So
that's what makes it, and that's what makes friendships even better. Is you can have a difference of opinions and you go, yeah, it is what it is.
So is everybody here in Australia at the moment? I know I've seen Mark's comes in every week, but
where is Mark in Australia as well?
I think everybody would be sort of local, but do you want to all put down in the chat whereabouts you are in the world? I know we've got some people who are going to be coming in from the US and from the UK at some point, but
unfortunately, Carl, it's not that way.
No, it's never like that. They like to say it is, but far from it. So
innocent until proven. I wish it worked that way. So many fathers would be happy.
We'll have to go in a few minutes anyway, but I'm still waiting to see where everybody is.
I'm not saying I did. I said I was at home.
I think we need a good topic for
local.
Yeah, I know you're local, mate. I know Christy's local. Actually, there's only 3 of you talking, so you didn't have to go that specific.
Oh, we've just jumped to 8.
That would be about right. Just when we are getting ready to. Okay, so.
All right, now I'm trying to figure out who Mark actually is.
You're not the food. You're not the food. Are you the food van, Mark?
Now I'm getting confused because these people know who we are.
Well, because we're on bloody camera, that's why.
Yeah, but being that we've met someone at public hunts, I feel kind of bad now that we've been met and I still don't know who it is.
Look, I've had... I shit you not, right? I've had people come up to me talking to me as if they knew me, and I'm like, who the hell are you? And they, now I know who you are. And they turn around and say, oh, no, we've known you since the such and such ride when we did a charity ride for this or for that. And I still don't know who they are. Even to this day, I wouldn't know who half these people are, but for some reason, I don't know if it's my bald noggin or what, people know who I am.
Detox.
That's the one.
Detox.
Yep, that's the one. You threw us off by putting the S on the end.
Yeah, I'm still trying to put a face to the name and I can't figure it out for the life of me, so I'm sorry, Mark. I do apologise.
I actually took Mark out with I think it was one or two other people to the old Rockingham Pioneer Cemetery. I think it was the first one that he came on with us, and he enjoyed that. And he's been to a couple of others.
Was that the one when it was a small group with him, and then there was two other ladies that joined us?
That sounds about right.
I think I was there that night.
I can't remember, but we haven't been there for ages. We might have to revisit that.
That would have been the night where the fire was when we were on our way out there.
Yeah, that's it. Yes. Yeah.
All right, now I've kind of got a face of that name.
He's doing well. My old man memory. Nah.
I don't know. Once you said Pioneer Cemetery, I was like, well.
Everybody's torch died.
Yeah, I was going to say.
You are not a paranormal investigator unless your torch has died. So. No. All right. Before we do go, let's get some ideas on what people want to talk about next week on our live show. Yeah, that's right. Yep. Yeah, that's the one. We drove right past the flames. Were almost touching our cars going past. I mean, they're only little ones, but that was a specky little night, that was.
Was a good night.
I still think the best night I ever had down at the, I mean, this was probably 10, 15 years ago, down at the old Rockingham Pioneer Cemetery was, we were there, and you know how there's the train track at the back? Well, we had, it's for the big hauling trains and stuff like that. We had this train come up, well, no, what started was the mist. Mist started coming from the back of the cemetery. Now, this is where it gets specky, is that the back of the cemetery is lower, because you guys that have been there will know that it comes up, and then where the main driveway down the center of the cemetery is, that's the high point, and then it sort of rolls off again towards the road. Now, this mist was completely defying logic by going against the very slight breeze that was there, and it was coming up the hill. And then once this mist came in, it got really dense. I had a camera going. I've got the footage somewhere. I don't know if I've still got it now, but I did have it. I did use it in a video a long time ago. And then in this mist, a train went through, but it had all the lights on the side as if they were actually like passenger cars. Now, that track has never been a commuter or a passenger track. It's always been a goods track. So I don't know what the hell was going on then, but that was interesting. And I got that on footage, but the camera's that old that I don't know how good it would be, and I don't even know if I've still got it. I'll have to have a look through my videos and see if I can find it.
The video quality would be better than what all the pilots are of the UFOs.
You'd think, but I would have liked it clearer if I could. But this was bad. I think HD was the in thing at that point, because the camera that I had, it was one of the first HD video cameras. That was a Sony, and a very expensive one, but I still use it. It's down there in my bag, so, and I use that for the night vision stuff.
That's the one that the batteries are always dying on.
No, that one's actually not too bad, because I bought one of those big 5-hour plus batteries, and that seems to do the job. Because I don't use it as much as what I used to, because now I don't know if it's me but when we do our videos on location and what have you, now I'm going for more
cinematic quality,
not night vision. I'm going for more just low light but regular color, and we'll see. We've got some footage from the York one, which I will put up at some point once I've sent the files and everything to the actual client and got their permission, I'll put them up and we'll put them on one of our podcasts, because we'll do a whole podcast on our York investigation. So it was pretty good. And like I said, let's see what happens with the York Hospital and whoever buys that, and keep our fingers crossed on that one.
It'd be very nice. So nobody's really said much about what they want to see episodes on.
No, it's funny. Every time I mention what topics do you want to talk about, everybody probably thinks about it that much they forget to type anything.
Because it doesn't help us as such to try and make topics up or try and find topics that people aren't gonna listen to.
See, if we don't know what people like, we will just find something and talk about it. But if people aren't interested, they just won't tune in. So I would rather know what everybody's interested in. I mean, you can send me a private message if you want to later on and let us know what you're interested in, and then we can do some shows on those. Yes.
ESP. Are we coming up and talk about things similar to that, aren't we?
Witchcraft, we did. We actually did a show on witchcraft. We actually had a lady witch from America come on as our guest.
Mm-hmm.
Carl, if you go back through our, obviously you're on our channel at the moment, so you've got the live section, which is where we are. But if you go into the video section and scroll down, there is one on witchcraft. But we will revisit that. We will revisit it.
So Mark, by ESP, I'm guessing you don't mean on a car?
No, extrasensory perception.
In my line of work, it's the electronic stability program. So if you've got ESP lights on your dash, you're not going to have ABS and whatnot. Supposed to be good. Might need to learn how to use the cameras.
Yeah, I did see the footage that you sent us, and yeah, I think we'll have to go through some of your settings to see, because there were a couple of things that could have been something, but they were that pixelated it was hard to really judge it and put it forward. So yeah, you could just have a setting where you turn them to HD or something like that. You just have to have a look and see. But that's cool.
With when you buy a TV, they down tune them if they're a cheaper TV next to an expensive TV.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And here we go, jumping up for topics again.
No, extrasensory perception. That's what. Well, I'm assuming that's what he's talking about. Yep.
Yes.
All right. We will look into that, and we will do a show just for you, mate. I think we are just about out of time because I've got to get up for work in a few hours. So.
Well, it's been 77 minutes.
Oh, we've got our hour in.
If we can break 97 followers, I'll be happy.
We're still at 95 at the moment.
Yes.
What you need to do is start twisting all of your friends' arms behind their backs and saying, subscribe.
If you do it, I give you a pickle.
Oh, no. See, we're going to drop back to 50 now. Oh, we won't drop back to 50 because there's only 5 people in watching at the moment, so we'll drop back to 90.
Start buying pickles.
I don't know if it's the lighting, but my face looks like a beetroot at the moment, really red. I can change the light colour on the light. See how that goes. Now I can see me shadow on the back wall. That's too much light. Oh, you can still
thank
see
you,
it.
Mark. That actually means a lot. Psychics. I'm pretty sure we've done one on. Didn't we do one touching on psychics with Karen?
Yeah, that's going back a bit as well.
Mm-hmm. That's up there, Carl.
Carl, you have to go back and look through our back catalogue. You might find something else there that you like. I don't think there's any conspiracy things yet, or was there?
The backlog.
I'd say we'd do urban legends again, but we've done that a few times.
Yeah, we've done it twice.
Actually, okay, here's a good one for everybody. A bit of homework for you all if you're going to come in next week. Think about your favourite ghost story and then come on and tell everybody. What we'll do is we'll allocate everybody maybe 5 minutes of airtime if you want to come on and chat and tell us your favourite ghost story. And then we can talk about it, because there's lots of ghost stories out there, and whether it be passed down word of mouth or whether it's something you've experienced yourself. I think that'd be cool. I think that'd be really cool.
Then you've also got ghost stories that turns into urban legends as well.
And yes, and there's another thing that you all need to think about.
To go way back. Just don't watch, was it episode 2 or 3?
2.
The third person.
Oh.
My name is Matt Damon.
We were friends back then. But we will say no more.
Ouija boards. Actually, that'll be a good one to touch on, Christy.
Yes.
Ouija boards.
Are we talking actual Ouija boards or any spirit board?
Obviously, the ones owned by Hasbro.
Actually, I have some footage that I could show for that as well. When we were down at Albany,
actually, hang on.
First time when we were doing a spirit board down there.
I think we have. I don't know if we didn't do a full episode about it, but I know in one of the episodes I talked about Ouija boards. Like there's a few stories that are going around, like people using them to put cakes on and use them as a platter. And some other fun stuff after people have used them and put them away and not closed it off properly.
That's the big mistake. See, it's just another tool like any other tool, but it's about how you use it.
Were you born in a tent? Close the bloody door.
Exactly. It's like I said, if you open your front door up to let people in to chat, and then when they go, you leave that door open, you don't know who else is going to come in the middle of the night. It's the same with a Ouija board. If you don't close it down properly, you're leaving it open to any other spirits to come forward, and they may not be good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
Mark.
Jeremy, did
you also hear with Houdini as well that he had left a letter with a code or a formula? I think it was a code, a sequence of numbers, and
the Fibonacci sequence.
Pardon?
The Fibonacci sequence.
Well, there you go. I was a bit unsure.
Oh no, I don't know if that's what it is. I was just throwing that in there.
Oh, okay. No, he was saying that because originally he didn't believe about the afterlife, and just to do with that sequence of numbers or letters that he left behind, that if someone found it and could crack the code, he would agree that there was an afterlife or the paranormal side of things, like ghosts and spirits.
Has the Psychical Society still got that $100,000 up for anybody that can prove extrasensory perception and stuff? Or any of those telekinesis or psychokinesis. They don't like calling it telekinesis anymore. Or it's psychokinesis now.
No more televisions.
I don't know why. I don't know why, but yeah, it is now psychokinesis. And with that, I am going to switch back to this camera. It's weird because I'm talking into the camera and you guys are all over there. I can't see what's going on, so I've got to look over there.
Oh, sorry, I got it wrong. I just made myself sound like an idiot.
Yeah.
Houdini's most publicised confrontation with a spirit medium began in 1924 when he took a formidable Boston woman named Mina Crandon, known as Marjorie, a 36-year-old wife of a prominent Boston surgeon. Crandon was the most serious contender for a $2,500 prize offered by the scientific community or society if they could. How would it go? Because Houdini was a big debater with people.
Mm-hmm.
For that sort of stuff. He $2,500 prize by Scientific American magazine, the first medium who could produce conclusive psychic manifestations under test conditions. That such contest was possible and sponsored by probably that said that cycle research was considered a legitimate area of scientific inquiry at the time. Houdini, always eager to be seen as more than a mere entertainer, was delighted to join the investigative community, which some of the world's most distinguished psychics. So that's not even what I read before. There was another thing I was speaking to Karen with a while ago.
Yeah.
About, and they were saying there was a prize if someone could crack Houdini's code.
Oh no, I was talking about a different thing.
Prize.
Have you heard of the? Hang on. Is it the Council of Mynea? I can't remember the name of it. Anyway, it's a group of well-to-do people in the UK back from the turn of the century that were right into investigating cases of the paranormal and psychics and things like that. I could have the name wrong. It begins with M. Anyway, I do know that. Actually, if you go back through our episodes, there's an interview that we did with Graham Phillips, and he does talk about this council in that. It was predominantly ladies involved in this council as well.
Maybe we're going to have to do an episode on the list of prizes for evidence of the paranormal.
But the problem you got, there's so many people doing fakes these days that are so damn good that you just don't know what's real and what's not.
As in like the ones that are out there at the moment currently running.
Yeah, but that'd be pretty boring for people. As opposed to us talking about what we're going to talk about at the next show.
Yeah, but like it's silly. Like, well, it's not really silly. It's like $160,000 to anyone who can prove to possess paranormal abilities such as clairvoyance, telepathy, telekinesis, and you know. Well, how do you prove that?
Is it Uri Geller or whatever? You used to do the old spoon bending and stuff like that. Which
in India, 10 million Indian rupees to anyone who can perform any of the 22 specified miracles.
What's that work out to, like $1.50 or something?
$150,000.
Oh, okay, that's pretty good. That's enough to put an Indian rocket on the moon and open up a deli.
New call center.
Bye. I shouldn't have said that.
Oh, apparently, there we go. All right. Apparently, in the 1980s, the Australian Skeptics released a challenge for 100,000 Australian dollars for proof of the existence of extrasensory perception, telepathy, or telekinesis. 100 grand in 1980. That's a lot of money.
It is, and I have full faith that they do exist, but it's a matter of it's in that part of the brain that you can't access yet. So anyway, I think we are going to have to cut this short now because I've got to get up for work. So we had a bit of a slower start, even though we were up and running nice and early. So like I said, if you haven't subscribe, click the notification thing, because I'm not sure if that's separate, because you do get a notification when we go live or when we put a new video up. And then I'm doing it again. I'm talking to the wrong camera. Yeah. You will get a notification when we go live, and then you can jump in nice and early and have fun. See, I'm looking over here again. This is too much pressure having two cameras. I was actually thinking about putting a third in as well, like a studio camera up in the corner, but nah, screw that for a joke. This one goes a lot wider angle. This is on the medium setting at the moment. I was just trying to get a little bit of the studio in for people to see. And all right, I'll move this camera around. This is the actual setup that I'm looking at.
Look at those buttons.
So there's everybody there. That's all the stuff that I'm looking at.
So you're thinking about getting a camera for every screen, was it?
No. That's too much, man. I've just got two that are only that far apart and I still can't do it.
At least you're not able to go eyes outwards and going one there.
What would be... Oh, well, yeah. What would be really creepy is if you could have one looking in each direction.
That's exactly what I said. Can't do it. I tried.
No.
Just made myself look like an idiot.
You make them go in like that, but you end up looking cuckoo. So, all right, I think we'll call it for tonight, guys. And thank you for joining us. And
watching.
Hey?
Ooh. 6 watching. Ooh.
6 people watch to the end.
Yeah, we've got 6 people currently.
I don't know if you're a glutton for punishment or if you like our little sort of madness, but let us know in the comments below.
Well, maybe they just look at us and go, we're not so bad after all.
I reckon they all came in just to have a look at the second camera angle. It is so good. So I think it was blue. I think we're going to go with blue next week.
Other camera, Gary. No, I was joking.
Oh, hang on, I was doing that.
Blue-
I was doing that. It looks like I'm picking my nose. It was actually that.
Yeah,
But
it does. Yeah. So blue next week.
yeah, we're going to go with the blue background next week. I think it was Mark wanted blue.
I'll make a tinfoil hat just for Carl.
I could get up and make it blue right now, but then you'd be all looking at me bum, and that's just not what you want to see on a Friday night. I am actually wearing jeans. I've got jeans on, so don't panic. I'm not.
Holy. At least one of us is wearing pants. What, you think news anchors wear full-size pants under the desk?
No. I think it's time. Think it's time to go. Thank you, everybody. We really appreciate you all coming in and joining in with the shows. It's not the same without having people talking away and having the chat room going.
James,
So
unfortunately, James missed out on a good one.
yeah, and I reckon. All right, before we go, who's going to actually come on and talk to us next week on the phone?
Well, we can strike down James and Carl. Butt cam.
He's way beyond, man. He's
Anything
in
but
the worst
cam.
sense of the word, but behind, you know.
Yeah.
That went.
And Carl is bringing up the rear.
That is wrong.
What do you mean? It's when you're the last one in the pack.
I know. He's our tail end Charlie.
That makes it sound even worse.
All right. On that note, we are going now. So take it easy, guys. Thank you for tuning in.
See ya.
See ya.